And bees, 3 weeks of work, and just one single jar of honey. This is what it really takes to make nature's liquid gold. From hive to jar, the full process you've never seen before. The journey begins long before harvest day. In the early morning light, the apiary comes alive with activity. Rows of wooden hives stretch across the landscape, each one home to its own colony. A single hive can house up to 80,000 worker bees, all dedicated to one purpose: making honey. The beekeeper arrives at dawn, when temperatures are still cool and the bees are calm. This is the optimal time for inspection and harvest. Before approaching any hive, preparation is essential. The suit consists of 3 distinct layers. The outer shell is made of thick cotton canvas, resistant to stings. The inner mesh provides ventilation and weather. Most importantly, the veil creates a safe barrier between the beekeeper's face and thousands of potential stings. Thick leather extend past the wrists, secured with elastic bands. No gaps can be left exposed. Even a single opening can allow dozens of bees inside. The boots are tucked into the suit legs and secured with tape. Every precaution matters when working with 60,000 insects. The smoker is perhaps the critical tool in beekeeping. This simple metal canister has been used for centuries. Inside, natural materials like pine needles, dried leaf, burlap slowly smolder. The bellows pump smoke into the hive entrance. But why does smoke calm bees? The answer lies in ancient instinct. When bees detect smoke, they believe a forest fire is approaching. Their immediate response is to gorge themselves on honey, preparing to and rebuild elsewhere. A bee with a full stomach is physically unable to curve its body enough to sting. Full bees are docile bees. This gives the beekeeper a window of approximately 15 minutes to work safely. With protective gear secured and smoker ready, the harvest begins. The outer cover of the hive is removed first, revealing the inner cover beneath. More smoke is applied. The bees retreat deeper into the hive. The inner cover comes off, exposing the honey supers, the boxes where bees store excess honey. Each super contains 8 to 10 frames hanging vertically like files in a cabinet. The beekeeper carefully lifts each frame, inspecting its contents. A frame full of capped honey can weigh over 3 kilograms. Not all frames are ready for harvest. The beekeeper looks for specific signs of ripeness. When honey cells are capped with white wax, the honey inside has reached the perfect moisture content, exactly 18%. This is critical. Honey with higher moisture will ferment. Honey that's too dry crystallizes rapidly. Bees instinctively know when their honey reaches this precise threshold. They seal each cell with a thin layer of fresh beeswax, protecting their food stores. Only fully capped frames are selected for harvest. Partially filled or uncapped frames are returned to the hive. The selected frames are placed in a transport box and carried to the extraction facility. This room must meet strict hygiene standards. Stainless steel surfaces are cleaned before each batch. Temperature is controlled at 25 degrees Celsius. Humidity is kept low to prevent moisture absorption. Before extraction can begin, the wax cappings must be removed. This reveals the liquid honey beneath. The uncapping process requires precision and patience. A heated electric knife is the tool of choice for most operations. The blade temperature is maintained at exactly 8 degrees Celsius. Too hot, and the honey beneath is damaged. Too cool, and the knife drags through the wax. The beekeeper holds each frame vertically over an uncapping tank. With steady horizontal strokes, the knife slices through the wax cappings. Thin sheets of wax fall into the tank below. Golden honey glistens on the exposed cells. Each frame takes approximately 30 seconds to uncap. For stubborn areas, an uncapping fork scratches open individual cells. The wax cappings are collected and processed separately into beeswax products. The uncapped frames are now ready for the extractor. This large machine operates on a simple principle: centrifugal force. Frames are loaded into a rotating basket inside the drum. The extractor in this facility holds 8 frames simultaneously. Once loaded, the basket begins to spin. Speed increases gradually to prevent comb damage. At full rotation, the basket spins at 900 revolutions per minute. Centrifugal force pulls the honey outward, away from the comb. The liquid gold hits the inner walls of the drum and flows downward. A valve at the bottom releases the honey into a collection bucket. The extraction process is remarkably efficient. In just 3 minutes of spinning, over 90% of the honey leaves the comb. The empty frames remain structurally intact. This is crucial for sustainability. These same frames can be returned to the hive. The bees will refill them with fresh honey, saving weak comb-building effort. A colony that receives drawn comb can produce 50% more honey than one starting from scratch. Raw honey flowing from the eggs contains various particles. Small pieces of wax float on the surface. Pollen grains create cloudiness. Occasionally, bee parts or prop find their way in. While technically edible, these particles affect the final product's clarity and shelf appeal. Filtration removes unwanted while preserving beneficial properties. The filtration system uses a series of progressively finer mesh screens. The first filter catches large wax chunks and any debris over 2 millimeters. A second filter with 200-micron mesh removes smaller particles. The final filter at 50 microns catches fine sediment invisible to the naked eye. Importantly, this is mechanical filtration only. No heat is during this process. Unlike commercial operations that heat honey to 60 degrees or higher, artisanal producers keep temperatures below 40 degrees. This preserves the natural enzymes, antioxidants, and beneficial compounds that make raw honey valuable. Heated honey may look identical, but its profile is significantly diminished. After filtration, the honey enters large settling tanks. These food-grade containers hold up to 500 kilograms each. Here, the honey rests undisturbed for 48 to 72 hours. During this time, physics does the final purification work. Air bubbles trapped during extraction slowly rise to the surface. Any remaining microparticles float upward or sink to the bottom. The result is perfectly clear honey in the middle layers. The settling room maintains constant conditions. Temperature stays at 24 degrees Celsius. Direct sunlight is blocked to prevent degradation. The honey is checked twice daily for clarity. When the beekeeper shines a light through the tank, the beam should pass through without scattering. This indicates the honey is ready for bottling. The bottling line in an artisanal operation is intentionally simple. No conveyor belts or automated systems here. Each jar is filled by hand, one at a time. Glass containers are preferred over plastic. They're inert, recyclable, and showcase the honey's natural color. Before filling, each jar is inspected for defects. Chips, cracks, or residue mean rejection. The valve on the settling tank opens with a gentle turn. A golden stream of honey flows into the waiting jar. Precision matters in the final fill stage. Each jar must contain exactly the weight stated on the label. A digital scale beneath the jar monitors the fill in real time. The beekeeper watches the display, closing the valve at precisely 500 grams. Overfilling wastes product. Underfilling violates regulations. Air bubbles occasionally form during filling. A gentle tap on the counter brings them to the surface. The jar rests for 30 seconds before the lid is applied. The appearance of finished honey varies dramatically based on its floral source. Acacia honey is almost water white, with a mild, delicate flavor. Wildflower honey ranges from light amber to deep gold with complex taste notes. Sweet honey is nearly black, with an intense molasses-like character. Clover honey, the most common variety, presents a classic golden amber color. The bees don't use their flowers, they visit whatever blooms within a 3-mile radius of the hive. The beekeeper's location determines the honey's character. Every jar receives a tamper-evident seal around the lid. This thin plastic band shrinks when heated, creating a tight grip between lid and glass. Consumers can verify their honey hasn't been opened since leaving the facility. A lot number on each seal enables complete traceability. If any quality issue arises, the producer can identify exactly which batch, which hives, and which harvest date are involved. The labeling station is the final stop before packaging. Each label is applied by hand, positioned carefully for visual appeal. Required information includes the product name, net weight, ingredients, producer address, and lot number. Optional details like flow source, harvest date, and certifications add value. Many artisanal producers include the specific apiary location, allowing consumers to trace their honey to exact coordinates. This transparency builds trust in an industry plagued by adulteration concerns. The fish jars are arranged in cardboard shipping boxes, separated by dividers to prevent breakage. Each box holds 12 jars, weighing approximately 7 kilograms when full. The boxes are sealed, labeled with contents and handling instructions, and stacked on pallets for distribution. From 60,000 bees working 3 weeks straight, 1 kilogram of honey. To produce this single jar, worker bees visited over 2 million individual flowers. They flew a combined distance equivalent to orbiting the Earth twice. Each bee contributed approximately 1/12 of a teaspoon to this jar, her entire life's work. The average worker bee lives just 6 weeks during the season. She spends her final days foraging, returning to the hive again and again until her wings literally wear out. This jar represents not just nature's sweetener, but the collective sacrifice of thousands of short lives. This is artisanal honey. No shortcuts, no additives, no ultrafiltration or heat treatment. Just pure raw honey made the way bees have made it for over 100 million years. From flower to hive to jar, the full process finally revealed.